Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I've got the Sorcerer here. This is a game I bought, so I'm gonna fix it up. I'm gonna try to probably put it on route. Cabinet's pretty decent. Playfield got somewhere. It's not too awful bad. It does boot up and play. Kind of pretty sorry play, I'd say. Some of the lights work, some of the sounds work. It's got old crusty batteries in it. It won't hold memory. So I'm gonna stand this thing up and we'll dig into it and see what we got. All right, so now that I got this thing stood up, it looks a little bit better than I thought it was going to. It's a little worn down here at the bottom and quite a bit less towards the top. And around the pop bumpers, it looks great. And at the top of the playfield, I mean, there's a little wear, but not very much, not too bad. Overall, pretty good. All the stainless is nice and shiny. Nothing's not all rusted up. The plastics seem to be pretty good. I don't see any broken ones. The power supply. This is what I saw when I looked at the game. I saw the power supply. Somebody had gone through it. I was like, somebody loved this game. That's a good sign. Now, it did sit quite a while. Those are 2011. And they are belching out their goodness. So that's going to need a little work. Get rid of those, probably replace all these caps and just do a little cleanup on the board. But otherwise, the back here, it looks pretty original. So this, by the way, this is a system, I believe it's System 8 game. So there's, or it's System 8 or System 9. Either way, I think this is System 9. Yeah, I believe this is System 9. There's only like 4 games that use this board. It's kind of, basically it's a pre-System 11 game is kind of the way I think of it. So anyway, I've got it plugged in here. I think it'll boot up. Yeah, so actually this guy had actually called me about coming out to repair his game. And I'm always like kind of suspicious, not suspicious, but I was trying to question people because a lot of times it's really simple. Like he was saying it wouldn't come on. He didn't know the secret code to get it to come. And I was like, turn the game off and on real fast. He called me back a few minutes later. He said, it didn't work. And I was like, you got to do it as fast as you can. He goes, no, I turned it off for like a couple of seconds. So I'm going to do this here real quick. Oh, it didn't do it. Still, I can't get it to go. Well, boy, he got it go anyway. So sometimes what you can do is you flip the switch real quick. You turn it all on while it's still turning off. So it's still got the 5 volts when it turns on. So it thinks that battery is there when it's not. And that battery is basically not there. And it won't go into audit mode. So it's in audit mode right now. So if you just go through the menu, I should be able to get out and just go through this. Go forward or backwards or something. There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now, Django. That's enough monkey noises. Jesus. Well, I'm still not there. Okay. So now we're fully booted up, and you can see like most of the lights are going. We could go into the test menu if we wanted to, or we could try just start up a game. How would we do that? Phone switch. We've got a few credits. We'll start a game. I absolutely love the Williams sounds from this era. I mean, they're so reminiscent of the video games. Got some cool eyeballs in the back there, flashing. So anyway, it kind of plays. Let me go into the test menu. Well, I went into audits. I always get it one way or the other. Okay, now I'm going to test. So there's the displays, and they all look good. I guess that's the soundboard it's testing. Oh, it does have voice. Feel my something. Anyway. Okay, there's the displays. I see like one bulb out. There's several in the back box. I will probably LED this game, but definitely will if I decide to put it on route, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. So now it's doing the solenoids. So it's got flashers. Oh, it's got a bell. That's awesome. Anyway, let's see what the next test is. Oh, that's a switch test probably. Yeah, 31 must be that switch right there. And that's the end of the test menu. So I guess the first thing I'm gonna do, should probably pull the board. I mean, somebody actually, they set that off to Silver Ball Specialties 906. So yeah, you say it's like it's fresh, but no, it's 20 years old probably. That cap may be 20 years old or 19 years old even. You know, it's like being redone, but yeah, it's still old. Maybe if that's a 20-year-old cap. That they don't look that old. They're not all dirty, but hard to say. They're not 40 years old though. Trying to see if I can find a date. I don't know. I don't see one. They had quality caps. I think I'll start with this board here because I know for sure I've got issues there. If nothing else, I got to get rid of that awfulness there. So I'm going to start pulling connectors, pull this board off, take it to the bench. Probably recap these. I'm not sure exactly what these are. Some kind of filter cap probably. It looks like this probably has a sound on this area, and this over here is maybe the speech. Yeah, speech roam, speech roam, speech roam, speech. So this is the speech board, and the sound is probably in this corner. That looks like a little op amp right there. So that's what I'm guessing is going on here. That's why the System 11s were, the early ones were. Actually, the early 11s, everything was on the board. And then they kind of migrated stuff a little bit off. But I'm going to pull the board real quick. So I get this board out. Now that I can really look at these things, they just like, they're not even connected anymore. And they were just crapping out over the board. Fortunately, there's really no traces beneath it. Like just over here, been bad. But these caps might have, look, that one there especially looks a little bulgy for sure. I think I'll just swap all of them. But in any case, this thing is going by, but yeah, I'll just get that out of the way. Yeah, you can really see that. But like I said, in Lucky, there's just not much beneath it except for that cap and little resistor there. So I'm gonna get some of the stuff out of here. Let's look at the back of the board. The front, it doesn't look like anybody's ever done anything to this board. Oof. Those don't look very good. That's right underneath all that. Yeah. So that's the deal, is that stuff starts soaking through and eating up through. So I might replace that header pin there and that header pin there and just get rid of all that just before it gets any worse. But the rest of these solder joints, yeah, that one's loose right there. So nobody's ever reflowed the solder on this board. I don't think anybody's ever done anything to this board. It looks totally virgin. So some of these looked a little cracked. I found a couple, but I'll reflow all of them. So I'll start by getting rid of the battery pack. and get rid of that header pin and that header pin, those caps, and get it good and cleaned, and then repopulate. So just get some fresh solder on here so I get these out here a little easier. And that can go in the trash. I think there's the remnants of, yeah, the tab that just fell out. Whew. Imagine that being hot, huh? Let's see what we can do this other side here. This is the side that was really corroded. It's hard to get the solder to even flow into the old stuff. It's just so nasty. There we go. Dilute that old stuff a little bit, some fresh. Well, that already looks a little bit better. So I don't know if these, I'm just looking to see if these two caps here are the same. If not, I gotta kind of keep track of which one's which. 125, that one's 125, that's 100, and so all three of those are the same. I'm gonna swap all three of those, take all three of those out. And it's not wanting to take any solder. Cut that right side loose. There we go. Jeez, went backwards. Okay, yeah, that's bulged out just a little bit. I don't think this one looks quite as bad. Yeah, that one there took some solder. That, well, this one maybe not. Okay, and the other one is those two right there. Yeah, this one's going to be a champ. should have checked to see if these were labeled in the orientation, because I didn't really look. They are. Well, that one is. And that one is. The plus is hidden, but it's over there on the side. And that one is also. So all the plus and the plus on these two are the other side. So let's see if we can get this out of here. Just trying to dilute all that nasty old crusty solder with some fresh. It's hard to heat it from the back side because it's so far away, and it won't wet up from the back side because the little tray, the pad on the back side is all but gone. This other one I could probably get from the back. All right, so now I'm gonna try to, I probably should have done this for all of them. I probably should have scrubbed the board before I even tried to desolder anything, but I'm going to do that for these. I'm gonna get some vinegar and water 50-50, clean it with that, maybe clean it with some alcohol and a wire brush, and then try to desolder it. It'll probably be a little easier order of operation. All right, so I have preloaded a little solder on here. I've got this new for me tool, and I am going to try to heat up all these at once. I don't know if my iron is stout enough to do it. Oof. I sure as heck did. Wow, that was pretty nice. And that quenched my iron. I think this is a 70-watt iron I've got. It's actually my portable iron because it's the T12 type, but it barely will do this. Let me see if I can get this other one here. Oof, it wasn't too bad. Now this is the one that's really corroded. I couldn't even hardly get any solder loaded on these other sides. It was just completely, if it was water, it'd be hydrophobic. I don't know what you call it. It just, just beads up and runs off. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I don't have much experience dealing with this kind of nonsense. I'll give it a shot here. I've got one end a little loose. Yeah, that quenches my iron. I had my iron set up to 400 and it quenched it down to 350. So I need something besides my fingers to yank on this because it's just too freaking hot. If I can get any kind of solder to get on here. Okay, I got all but two, oops, big splooge over there. I got all but two of them off. That's some progress. Let's see if I can get this mess off of here. Boy, that's ugly, ugly, ugly. I don't know what those are. Okay, the top side doesn't look too awful bad. I don't know. It's going to be difficult to solder those in because the solder is not going to want to suck up through there. That's going to be my challenge. It's going to be a challenge for all of them, but particularly these because there's no pad left to speak of. So it's not going to want to wick through. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience doing this, but I'm gonna muddle through it. Well, I've been cleaning and using a brass brush, and I've got a little bit of naphtha here. And those pads were still underneath there. They were just a lot of muck. So I'm just kind of gently scrubbing them, and they're. I think I'm gonna get this back where I can use them again. So my plan for the battery here, this is my battery holder, so the negative leads on the right, so it's going to go in the negative hole here. The positive goes to this, it's just the intermediate tie for the original battery holder, so it basically goes to nothing. So what I need is a diode going between here and the 5-volt output over here, so I'm going to put a diode something like that. I could put this diode on the back or the front of the board. It doesn't really matter. This definitely is going to go on the other side of the board so you can access the battery. And I may just do something like this so it's not so janky looking. And then put a jumper between these two so to tie that together. It looks a little cleaner maybe. Actually, I might be able to, if I do like that, I might be able to have that piece go through and come back on the other side. We'll see. Anyway, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I got that battery holder in there. Hold up the light, you can see that where my thumb is, that's the positive side, and it goes up to right there, and that diode on the back side, I don't know if you can see, but it actually extends and it is soldered in right there. And basically, so the 5 volts can go through the diode because it's going towards the banded side to the 5-volt terminal right there. So I think that's good. So just now I'm gonna pop out these 3 caps and swap them out, throw back in the game and see if it does anything. All right, we're ready for a smoke test. As far as smoke tests go, this is a better one than most. I mean, a lot of corrosion work. See what we got here. Okay, that's to be expected. And again, it's not twinkling, it's just 0400. So if I turn it off and turn it on, if the battery's working, it should boot up. And it did. Awesome. That is totally cool. Let me try to queue up a game. Hey, we have sound. Oh, the balls are not where they need to be. They're in the shooter lane. If it's like firepower, it won't start. Okay, now let's try to start a game. Sorcerer. I don't know that it said Sorcerer the first time I played a game. Ooh, that's a smooth shot. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the sounds are definitely more vibrant, which is way cool. I like vibrancy. So that was success, I think. I don't know if every solenoid's working, but it's at least playing at least as much as it was, so I'm gonna call that a win. I'm probably gonna pull this board off, get based on that sticker, take a look at it at least. I don't know if I'm gonna swap them out or not, may or may not. That looks like for the flipper board, that looks like an original cap. I'll probably swap that one anyway. And then we'll be ready to get down to the play field. And honestly, this is mostly a Jane job for sure. God, it's loud. Yeah, it seems like when you recap the soundboards on these games, that it's like it cranks up the volume. Everything's happy and it's just like gets loud because it was not that loud before. And I haven't touched the volume. It's just like everything's running more efficiently by getting those new caps in there. So anyway, I think I'm going to call that a day. Yeah, it's been tough, hasn't it, Django? Sitting there on your heated blanket. Joe's hiding in the back room. He didn't like the pinball sound so much, but he is ready to go. Are you ready to go, Django? Yeah, let's go home for the weekend. So I haven't been keeping up with this one, the Sorcerer, with the videos very well, but I stripped the thing down, cleaned it, polished it, put new posts, rebuilt the pop bumpers, just gave it a good polishing up. Jane's been, you see, she's got her stencils out here. She's been painting it, doing a bunch of touch-ups. It's had a lot of little white spots coming up through the black, so she's been touching up. She's still got a few more touch-ups to do. I talked to her this morning, but it's looking a lot better. This game's gonna be great. It's already looking great. So don't know where it's gonna go, but it's gonna go somewhere for public play. Yeah. Get Jane done with it. I'm gonna finish repopulating it and then put it out on location. As an aside, I've got this other Sorcerer. I just did a video on this weekend. I'm going to post this current video, the one you're watching first, before I post this one. This was a total barn find. I'll post this one a little bit after the video I'm pointing at, a little bit after this one I'm doing now. And yeah, this one's kind of an interesting, that'll be a short video, but it's interesting to me anyway. It's been about a week for me, but I'm back on this Sorcerer. Been working on other stuff. I just put on some new stickers there, and on the drop targets, they're there, believe me. So getting ready to repopulate all this stuff. Bought some pop bumper rings. They're gonna look real nice. I'll show you when I put those on there. You gotta glue them to the bottom of the ring. Anyway, I'm probably not gonna go through this, film the whole thing. It just rubbers and repopulating it, and it's mostly populated now. I just got all this nonsense to throw on there, so not too much. So I'm gonna get after. All right, so I got the game all put together. Looks pretty good. I know it's kind of like maybe over bright in some areas, but what I was really trying to get at was this area up here is actually kind of dark. There's a real dark area over here. There's no bulb underneath here, unfortunately. If you really wanted to, you know, adding a bulb right in there would really help. But what I am gonna do is it actually looks brighter than it is. Everything's, let me just turn the lights. Maybe that'll look better. Well, now you really can't tell either. But this area, a lot of times it is the case. So the pop bumpers are not very bright because there's no bulb anywhere in around here. There's a little tiny one bulb facing up. But by putting these in here, these rings, so there's lights that face up, which just are cool looking. I got red ones, you can tell because it's got a red plug. And then on this is the bottom side, those are white, so it broadcasts white light down. So it really brightens us up. So I'm gonna go install these into the caps. So I'm at the bench, got my hot glue gun hot. I'm gonna stick these in, and so the one with a whole bunch of lights is the upside, and that's the downside. And I've already looked, and the notch in the pop bumper base, and you'll see that when I put it back on, is opposite the holes. So I'm going to put it in so that these leads are opposite the holes. That way it'll go in there a little bit easier. And sometimes these will snap in a little bit, sometimes they won't. I've tried different ways, but I'm just going to glob a bead around there and maybe some more on the inside. You really can't see it when it's done, so I think more is better. Okay. They make at least two different types of the hot glue, like the normal and high strength, and I suggest the high strength because I've had these things break loose. It's not that big of an issue, but it means you gotta pull it out and re-glue it, which is kind of a pain. And I'm just gonna do this. I think that looked pretty good. It had a nice gap all the way around, so done. Sometimes I don't fit in quite right. That one did too. You rotate it, just I don't have it quite centered. All right. All right, now that one's done. One more and we'll go throw these in the game. Oops, that's upside down. Yeah, you can hardly put it in the wrong way because the leads will be in your way. This one's wanting to pop out, so I'm gonna hold it in. Okay, well that stick ended. Throw another in there. Okay, it's holding itself, and all the stringies are kind of a pain. I'll keep them off the top of the plastic anyway. All right, yeah. Mostly it'll come off the little strings. Okay, I'm gonna go screw these in real quick and we'll see what they look like. All right, I got them installed. You see, maybe you can. You see how much brighter, you see the reflection of those individual LEDs on the play field there. And see those wires there? So they're coming opposite of the screws, and there's a little indentation right there in the base, in the body of the pop bumper cap. So it's a good place for the wires to come in. Otherwise, they won't come in. So you need to do that. Anyway, it looks a lot better, I think. So anyway, I would do a plate. I still got to mount that. That's the one thing left. There's always, and the flippers, yeah, obviously. So when I get those, I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to do a play video as it is with the stock ROM, and I got a copy of a level L3 ROM, which changes the multi-ball, which makes it basically, so as this game was originally made, it's kind of like Black Knight. Every time you go up there, this lock is always lit. You shoot it up there, it locks the ball, you shoot it again, and you get a 2-ball multi-ball all day long. So you could just do that again and again and again. With the L3 ROM, you can make it progressively harder. You can start easy, and then the second time you have to knock down the drop targets over here to light the lock and knock them down again to get the ball out. And you can make it progressive after that. Like for the third time, you got to knock these down twice for each one, and such and such. So it makes it a little bit better rule set, I believe. Anyway, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna show the game before and then after with the ROMs and the play fields, or with the new rules, and do a play video like that. So, but anyway, this thing turned out great. Jane did a lot of good touch-ups. Toothpick. I wonder what I was doing with that. Filling loose screw holes. That's what I was doing with that. So anyway, it's not quite clean. Had a little residue when it dried. Anyway, I'll clean those off a little bit more, and this will be out in public pretty soon.